All right, guys, welcome back to another KevCAM night class tonight. Tonight, have Tim Micah helping out with any questions or concerns that come up along the way. Tim, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everybody.
And tonight, we will be covering balance turning, or balance roughing inside of the turning module. I do see one new person that is in here, so I'll kind of go through the ritual here. So everybody is muted right now because we use GoToWebinar, and this is just to eliminate any background noise. There is a questions panel for you guys, so if you guys have a question, go ahead and type those in, and Tim will read those off as they come in. Completely laid back training class for you guys, and these classes are solely dedicated for a training purpose for you guys, so you guys just tell me what you want to see, and we will get those added in there for you. And for those of you guys that are new, so I'm just trying to minimize some stuff right here. Every time you guys send me a idea, we'll send you a hat and SolidCAM t-shirt as a thank you. And for those of you guys that don't have my email address, I will copy it into the chat area for you. And then also every night class is being recorded, so you guys can always come back and reference these classes at a later date. And that, if you guys go to YouTube and type in SolidCAM University or KevCAM, it will pop up. And for those of you guys that would like that link, I will put that in the chat for you also. So now, just completely off of SolidCAM subject, but I think we're all kind of enjoy this kind of stuff. Did anybody watch the live launch today for SpaceX?
I sure did.
And, so Tim is how far are you, Tim, from Kennedy Space Center?
We're actually about, I think I'm about 8 miles from the visitor center, but from the launch pad, it's 15 miles from the house to the launch pad. Okay,
and so we actually have Tim, Jennifer, Deneen, Sean, and am I missing anybody in Florida? I think that's everybody that's in Florida.
I think that's all of us. I think that's it. Yep.
So Tim snagged this picture of the rocket going up. And for those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going a little off subject here, but SpaceX did the largest payload launch, and they actually sent up Elon Musk his personal Tesla Roadster car. And so that was pretty cool. And you can actually see you can stream it, and this is what it looks like. So the Tesla car is going around the Earth, so pretty cool stuff. George says, "What a waste of a car!" But we were thinking, worst case scenario, if the rocket blew up, Tim Micah would have a new car sitting in his driveway. So
that's right. That's what I was shooting for. I was like, "Come on, let that thing blow up and land the car in my backyard." Oh well.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry to get off subject, but that was kind of cool to see that. But for those guys that come to the YouTube here, definitely come check it out. We're building up this video database with myself, and Mark does a fantastic job doing the short videos. So if you hear somebody in there with a little bit different voice than mine, it's Mark, and he's our training manager, and he does a lot of the short videos for you guys, and then do the night classes for you guys. So there is a ton of videos in here on how to do pretty much everything inside SolidCAM minus the mill turn, and we're actually going to be getting to that mill turn. So, but yeah, if you guys have a video that you're looking for, send those over to me. I did have an idea that was sent over from Brad, and Brad was wondering if we could kind of show you guys of some of the upcoming stuff for SolidCAM 2018. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that put together for you guys, and we'll actually have Sydney in here, and Sydney will kind of do a little presentation of kind of the new stuff that's coming in 18. We won't be able to show all of it, but there's some pretty cool stuff that they've added in there for you guys. So all based off of your guys' requests. So, okay, I'll stop rambling here, and let's get to what we all came here for. So right now, I know a lot of you guys don't have this ability, and you're here to watch it, and a great learning experience for you. But for those of you guys, what balance roughing is doing is it's utilizing the upper turret and the lower turret of your mill turn machine or your turning machine. Depends on if you guys have the upper turret and lower turret. If you guys, sorry, if you guys don't have an upper and lower turret, this option will actually be grayed out for you. When you purchase turning, you will get balance roughing, but if it's grayed out, that's just because of your post processor. So this one, I'm actually using an Integrex mill turn machine to run this. But like I said, if you guys have a machine and it's grayed out for you and you know you have that lower turret, let me know and I will get you pointed in the right direction so we can get that added in there for your post for you guys. So what we're doing is we are going to be roughing from the upper turret and the lower turret at the exact same time. So this is really going to cut down on cycle time for you guys that have, you know, a lot of roughing or, you know, just have some extra material to do it on. Used to do this on a Kuma for, yep. So to start the process, it's very, very easy to do. This will be a little bit shorter of a class too, just because they've created this in a very easy way for you guys. So we'll do a balance rough. So our geometry is the area that we want to cut. So just like any other turning operation that we've done. So we'll say new, and I'll come here and start my chain there and end right here. So I'm going to rough out this entire area. Hit the green checkbox. Now, if I go to my modified geometry, obviously I don't want to do an auto extend to my end because I'm going to come into my vices here, but I'll just add an additional 100 thou in there, just so we go just a little bit past. So then you can see by adding that 100 thou in there, it's extended off my geometry line by 100 thou. Okay, so this is pretty normal from what we're seeing. This over here is something new, just not new to the software, but new for you guys that are seeing this. So basically, what turret do you want to be machining? So we have our sub machine right here, which is our master output, and I can come in here and click the drop down and pick, you know, what spindle I'm running on here. So I got my left spindle running with my turret and my lower turret running on the left spindle. For this particular machine, we can actually run on the right spindle also, just because this machine is able to do it. So you got your sub machine. So you got, or I should say, your master, which is going to be your top, and you have your slave, which is going to be the bottom trailing behind it. So a lot of times you guys won't even have to mess with this, because a lot of the machines, you just have your upper turret and your lower turret, and that's the only turret you really have to worry about. But if you guys do have a sub spindle over on the right hand side, this is where you would go to change it. Okay, so with your tool, what tool do you want to use for your main up on top? So I am going to use my tool number 6. Hit the green checkbox and just rotate it around right here. So we're coming in here. Like I said, this is an Integrex machine, so this is actually mounted up on another spindle. And I'll show you guys what it kind of looks like in the machine sim. But so we got this mounted up in the spindle, just like picking any ordinary tool. Now your slave tool, which is following behind, I'm going to grab my tool number 1 right here. Now here it gets just a hair tricky, is because now technically I'm orientated the wrong way. This tool should be flipped down here. But since we're doing the balance turning, you guys don't have to take that guesswork out of how it's going to look like down here. It's going to rotate that tool automatically for you guys. So it's going to flip it and go the right direction for the bottom half for you. So don't worry about changing the mounting around. Just get it so if you guys were to visualize, if you guys were machining with the upper turret. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Levels, same as normal. We'll just leave everything as default. Now technology. how do we want to rough it? Now, going forward, if we go to the roughing strategy to edge breaks, that's what you guys are going to be normally seeing. The only added piece that's in here is the balance mode. So we can do the upper turret and the lower turret cutting at the exact same time, or what I can do is do a trailing. So the main tool, or I should say the slave tool, is following, for this instance, it's 1 inch, but we can just do a 1/4 inch trailing behind. So it's totally up to you guys on how you want to do this, but you do have the option there to do it simultaneous. So it's doing the upper and lower at the same time, at the same cut. And well, let's do save and calculate, and I'll kind of show you what I mean by doing the same time, because when it's doing the balance roughing, they are going at the same time, but one is following just a little bit farther behind. So I'm going to go to my strategies here and remove the non-descending motions. Okay, so let's take a peek and see what this looks like first. So let's do turning. So you can see right here, I got my main up here and my slave down here, and my slave is following that 250 thou behind. So you can kind of see it's just keeping that constant distance going all the way behind. Now, if we switch that over in my general tab here to simultaneous, they're going at the exact same rate. So there's still, that top one is still cutting deeper than the bottom one, but they're just doing it at the exact same time. And this one is just a little bit tougher to see because they're going exactly. But like I said, it's definitely up to you guys on how you want to, if you guys want to do it at the exact same time. But for simulation purposes, it's a lot easier to see if I do a trailing. Save and calculate. And we can kind of see better of what's going on here. So if you guys think of balance roughing is identical to turning, and I'll show you an example of that, but not much complexity going on right now. The only difference is we're using that lower turret and cutting the same time as that upper turret. So it kind of makes sense for everybody. I know when we start working with balanced, using that upper turret and that lower turret at the exact same time, it's, ooh, that's going to be tough to program. It's not. They've simplified this and made this real easy. So like I said, think of this as just a standard turning operation without, just with the added of that lower turret for you guys to do the trailing. Under the rough, I don't
Kevin,
have the options. Go ahead.
If I could comment on, maybe kind of just speaking the obvious, but so your slave tool is actually running your next pass. It's not doing, say, a spring pass at the same cut. It's actually doing the next cut, so that it's the main is actually doing every other one. The slave is doing, like, say, 1 and 3 and 2 and 4. So this is what they're doing as far as passes go.
Yeah,
cool.
Great
That's
point.
Cool.
Yeah. So instead of doing, let's say, 10 cuts up on your upper turret, this is going to reduce it down to 5 cuts, still taking that same step down of 40 thou that we specified. And, we can leave a 10 thou finish on there for us for, maybe I'll just put 8 to match it up here. So it just eliminates that cut time for you guys. So yeah, make better explanation than I said.
That's just another way to say it.
Yep.
And we got a question there from somebody there as far as the facing capability. This looks like this is a longitudinal. I'm not saying the right word for the type of
so
cut. Can you do this on facing as well?
Yep. If we are doing a facing op, this will work also. And just to make sure I'm not eating my words, because I have done that in the past in the class, let me remove that facing op. And we'll do our balanced turning, balance rough. Grab this guy here. and do a modify. And we'll do auto extend. For some reason my auto extend is not coming up. Let me get back in here, modify. Should be, maybe we can't do it on facing. Let me just try forcing it in here. So I'll do an auto extend to that point right there. And I will do a start extension up here. Okay, so let's try this. Tool. So we'll use our tool number 6 is our main. Flip this. Slave is tool number 1 on the lower turret. And let me save this. I took these out of sync here, so I'm drag that one down. All right, make sure I grab the right one here. Yep. Okay. Now got our slave and we will do facing front, and we will do trailing again of, let's just do 100 thou. Roughing strategy, let's just do some small passes. Not that small. 10 thou, 10 thou. Save and calculate.
I had a question there about tool number 6, whether it has a clearance to do facing. It's like tool 6 might crash on you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have my tools orientated right the way. But so to answer your question, was it Greg? No, Ben. To answer your question, yes.
Ben for.
Yeah, I don't have the
shows it right there.
Yep. And I just don't have the clearances.
So yeah, going back, Kevin, to Greg's question, wondering about balanced roughing for having the upper tool do the ID versus the OD, ID OD, one tool running one and the other running the other one, or does that have to be a separate operation?
Okay, so that would be what would be a separate operation, and then for that to happen, so we can definitely have that happening. So let's say that upper tool is doing a roughing and finishing up here, and the bottom turret is doing an internal bore right here. You guys can have that do that at the exact same time, and that's going to be part of your channel synchronization. So, and I'm not going to go too much in detail here because this gets it gets just a little bit different per post processor. So each post is set up just a little bit different on the channel synchronization. And what happens in the channel synchronization is I can have many different ops, and I'll show this once we get into some of the mill turn, but we can get going in, you know, that upper turret and lower turret, and we click the channel synchronization here. What it's going to do is it's going to look at your program and tell you what tools you can go along with each other. So you guys can actually be doing all this work up here and down here at the same time using the channel synchronization feature here. And it's going to tell you, you know, if it can be done, where it can be and where it can't be and why. Sometimes clearance. So if I'm obviously doing a groove down here and I'm outside machining out here, we're going to be running into some additional stock down here depending on where this grooving is starting off for us. And something actually had Daniel, let's see, I just type in channel. So right here, the basics of channel synchronization. So you guys can kind of see over here on the little preview, and like I said, this is a video that Daniel did, and this one over here on the left side, we're not able to run that tool with anything else. But over here, we're able to run a couple of tools along with each other, and then as it gets farther down the list, we have to run these tools as separate. So these two videos, if you guys go to my channel here and just type in channel, it's going to kind of go over how to share those synchronization values and how the synchronization works. So 2 great videos right there that Daniel did for us on a Integrex machine also. So.
Yeah, so Kevin, you're saying you program the operations individually, then the channel synchronization analyzes it and tells you what you can and can't do. That's pretty cool.
Yep. It will look at everything and make sure everything jives with it and make sure we're not going to crash in tools and whatnot. So it's really cool technology, and I'm kind of amazed on, and the more technology comes out, the more stuff we're able to do, just because we have to keep up with the machine vendors doing these machines. So if you would have looked at this machine, 10 years ago, I'd be like, no way, that's not even possible. But as the machine vendors come out with new features, the CAM software is automatically adapting to that for you guys. So.
And Ben, I think that answers your question.
As
long as the machine's capable of doing it, for sure.
Absolutely. Yep. So definitely can do her for you guys, and the sky's the limit on. I'll kind of, when we get into the mill turn, the basics and the advanced mill turn of really what, how powerful the software is. So. Okay. Any questions on the balance? Let me go through one other thing here. So I don't see anything else. So the balance roughing, hence the name roughing. So we still have that 8 thou on here to come back with a finish tool. Well, they've made things quite easy for us. So what we can do is we can just do a save and copy. And now the only thing I have to do is I hit this little arrow right here. What I'm going to do is it's going to convert, by clicking that arrow, it's automatically going to convert it into just a turning operation for us, but I still have all my parameters. So the only thing I really need to do in here is go to my general and just tell it to do a finishing only, save and calculate, and now I've done a finish pass, cleaning up what I had left over. So if we do a simulate here, turning, you can see going through there. So let's play these both together. And some of you might be saying, well, why isn't the holder showing up? That is an STL holder that's only going to show up for you guys in Solid Verify, HostCAD, and MachineSim. So the turning one, the STL holder will not show up. It'll just be the insert for you. So let me hit the play button here. It's just so beautiful, isn't it? All right, now it's going to do the finish pass, and we're done. So let's take a peek and see what it looks like in MachineSim for you guys. Get a little bit better view of it. Now this MachineSim is a little bit large, so it does take a second to pull up for you guys. Ronnie, you missed our good conversation about the SpaceX.
Yeah, right. I seen Ronnie came in there a little late.
Yeah. I'd like to give Ronnie good grief. Okay, so we got our MachineSim, like I said, on an Integrex here. And let's go ahead and play this through here. So you can kind of see that upper turret and lower turret cooking away here. And does its finish pass, and we're done. So really nice, like I said, really easy to use. There's not much to it, just like the rest of the turning stuff. So it really makes things, really simplified in there for you guys. Try to make it as easy as possible. As you guys are doing this, if you guys see something, let us know if you'd like to see something else inside there to make it easier. When we're looking at this and development is looking at this, on a day-to-day basis, getting that outsider's view of, God, why didn't you guys add that in there? There's a lot of times we don't see that. So if you guys do come across something, let us know. And then with this balance roughing too, we can do I kind of forgot to mention this. We can do the outside, we can do internal facing, or even back facing. So you can do this with your grooving tools. So the sky's the limit on what you guys can do there, as long as you have that that lower turret for you. So.
And Kevin, we got a couple questions there from Ben about finishing 2 different ODs and an OD
Okay.
after the different tools, different turrets.
So with doing a finish pass the same way, so what you do is, if you were doing a finishing, let's just say we're coming in here and we did this finish pass right here. We still have that groove. What you do now is you'd come in here with your grooving tool, create that groove to groove out this material. But then what we do is we do our channel synchronization, kind of like I was talking before, and then we'd be able to run both of those at the same time. Like I said, I want to get this one. This one I'm going to kind of cover more in when we get into the mill turn side of things. But like I said, you create 2 operations right here, and hopefully that's kind of what you're asking, Ben. And that way you can come in here and do the groove on this upper one, or this lower turret, and the finishing up on this upper turret. Different. Okay.
And okay. Kevin, just jumping back for a second there. I think it was Greg had a question about using cutter comp.
Cutter comp for the balance roughing is not there just because it's a roughing operation. If we go to the roughing type, we don't have our compensation
cutter
box.
Comp options.
Yep. But in the finishing op, when we converted it, we do have cutter comp available for us, and that's only because the semi-finish tab is now highlighted for us. So it's just like turning. If I go back to this one, if I just do rough only, the same screen that you're seeing here is the balance roughing over here for you guys. So just no compensation there. Switch that back. And if you guys want this part or any of the parts to do it, let me know. I can definitely send those off to you. This one is actually a part we will be getting into for the beginning parts of mill turn. And kind of with you guys, did I get a response? Would you guys like to see the kind of the new features that are going to be added in 2018 with Sydney? I know I mentioned it. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll get that started. So what I'm going to do with when we get over to the mill turn is I don't know really how to go about this in the best way for you guys with different parts, because there's no different sections of mill turn. So what I'm going to kind of do is start off with some simple parts, you know, in one class, and we'll try to keep these. If I throw all mill turn, it's going to be a 6-hour long class for you guys. So what I'm going to do is start with some basic parts, do some basic programming, and keep moving our levels up into the mill turn. So when you guys go to the site, and I'll go there right now, under webinars, oh, for some reason my language got switched over to English here. Go to webinars, KevCAM Night School. So we got getting started with mill turn. May I'll just have Jack say, you know, kind of stepping these through. Maybe we'll just do kind of like a 1 through 5 parts for you guys, so we're not spending, you know, a whole long class on doing multiple parts. We'll break it up on, so this part we'll do in an hour-long class for you guys. We'll do another part. Is that okay for you guys? Okay. Hey, you guys are the boss. You guys tell me what you like and don't like. Tim likes to boss me around, but on this stuff, he's got no say. It's all you guys.
You know. Hey, and Ronnie, I'll catch you up on what we covered in the beginning of the class. I got a cool picture for you.
Yeah. But I guess that kind of wraps up everything, guys, that I kind of have for the balance roughing. Like I said, simple, easy, kind of like the rest of the turning stuff. Next week we'll do the tilted simultaneous, and I think then we go right into the mill turn side of things. I've had questions about MCOs. MCOs are solely based off of the post processor. So maybe what we'll do is I'll have Mark just do some simple MCOs for you guys that will kind of be a general basic. For those of you guys that do have questions with the MCO, definitely give us a call on the support line. That way we can have your post and show you how the MCOs work. And MCO, for those of you guys are unsure, is machine control operation. So if you guys are doing a part transfer from the left spindle to the right spindle, if you guys have a parts catcher, that's where the MCOs come into factor. And that's why it's really based off of your post, because if you guys do have a parts catcher or a bar puller, all that stuff will be all incorporated with your post with that MCO for you guys. So. All right, guys. Any other questions before we wrap it up tonight? Had a lot of great questions come through, so love these time tonight.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, one thing I want to kind of throw out to you guys too. So with GoToMeeting, we do have the ability to turn you guys off of mute. Kind of going in the future, kind of once we get past the mill turn, would you guys like to hear everybody kind of talk as like a big discussion kind of class style, or is it better to kind of type in your questions and we're not hearing any noise, stuff like that? Because like I said, I can unmute all of you guys and we can have one big class discussion on, the stuff that's going on too. So.
I think part of the idea was, because of the larger classes that we were getting in the beginning. Yep. I think I think that was kind of the reason to set it up as we did, and I think from the groups that we've been having, it might not be a bad try to just have more of a classroom where we can do Q&A. Okay. And like when you guys are watching, are you? I'm sure some of you are in bed watching, so maybe the mic's not the best route. You guys can tell me, but. Our class sizes, I know you guys can't see how many people are in the class, but they'll vary from 10 to 30 people in here. So if we get too many unmute, I guess we might get too much noise, but yeah, we'll kind of play with that. Raise your hand function might help. Oh yeah, Ben, that's a great idea. So there is a raise hand function in the GoToMeeting, and maybe that's what we'll do kind of going forward too, is if you guys have something you would like to add in there, you don't want to type it in, you can do the raise hand, but I'll have to kind of play with that just to see how the background noise works for you guys. But yeah, great idea, Ben. But yeah, like I said, I'm open up to all kinds of ideas for you guys to make this class more learning experience for you. And like I said, if you guys have those ideas, shoot those over to me in email. We'll add those in there. That 2018 one came up from Brad yesterday or the day before, so get that added in there. There was another one for going more over the internal versus external versus PRZ versus PRT. So I think we'll add that in there for you also. So, but that's all I have, guys, tonight. Tim, you got anything else? Yeah, Kevin, I just want to say thanks again for holding the class. These are very, very educational. I get a lot of great feedback from customers with attending these. Also, I'll just give my 2 cents on the interface and what development's doing here with all this mill turn, turret synchronization, tilted, the balanced roughing, all this stuff is very, very good improvements to what we never used to have in the software. So yeah. I'm really happy to see that what they've done there with it. So when you talk to developers, hats off to them as well. Yeah, and a lot of it goes out to you guys as the customers too, because a lot of this feedback, like I've said before, this is more of a customer-driven CAM software, not a head corporate software, and we don't have that corporate mentality at all here. And I'm gonna see if I can. It might be a little tough because it would be super early in the morning, but if we could get the owner of the company in here and maybe do a vision statement for you guys, and you'll be blown away on how much Emil knows. He's very, very intelligent, and for someone that he actually did a presentation for us. Oh, it's been a little while, but he came on here and did all kinds of
4-axis and 5-axis simultaneous operations, showing different features in there and stuff. So the owner is very, very involved in the software for you guys. So, but did have one question.
And Kevin,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. What?
No, I just see one question. Does SolidCAM support parametric programming?
Yeah, Ben, I think I might know what you're referring to, and I think we could probably talk about that. I could follow up with you on that, but absolutely, I think what you're referring to is, having your toolpaths associated to your part, and that's when you make a change to the part. I think that's what he's referring to. So
gotcha. Yep. Yeah, maybe we should do
I think we can.
A short little, maybe Mark do a short little one on that one too. But yeah, we can get with you on that one, Ben. But
good. And before I forget, customers, I just want to say thank you for coming into the classes. I mean, this is where Kevin's doing these for you guys, and your continued support of that is it's a great sign of what Kevin's doing the right thing here. So we sure do appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your Wednesday night. Now, for some of you guys, I know it's middle of winter, or like here, it's -6 degrees out, and it's snowing like crazy right now. But in other areas where Tim is, it's nice and warm. You guys could be doing definitely other stuff at this point. But I just appreciate the attendance from you guys. But yeah, 70 degrees here. Thanks, Ronnie. That makes me feel so much better. When I go outside, I get instant snotzicles. If you guys, for those guys that are in the warmer climates, probably don't know what that is, but I won't venture in any details. But, all right, guys, thanks again for attending, and have a wonderful night. And if I don't talk to you guys in the meantime, we will see you guys next week. All right, guys, have a good night.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.